Alright, how's it going everyone, and welcome back. Let's wrap this shit up. I'm going to use normal Dragon Blade until I get to a boss fight. I can't believe that. Did fish come out of the chest? Because that was very unclear to me. Shut the fuck up. Stop shooting fireballs for free. Shut up. I feel like if they're shooting fireballs, they should always have the chance. That's how it worked in the first game. You fucking stop! Okay. Yeah. Ooh, it's almost complete. Blah, blah, blah. That's incredibly fucked up. They didn't even come out of the treasure chest. This game's just a real fucking piece of shit. Zero consistency. Alright, that's all we get. Yeah, but this is sick though. This is sick. Look at this giant monolith of whatever the fuck. Of fiends? Is that the 4 fiends actually on the outside? Yeah, there's Wolf. That must be the Blood Lady. No, that's the Blood Lady. Then this is that fucking asshole. And that's the Lightning Man. Okay. So are we fighting Vazda technically? Why are we even opening this? We're like stopping the Archfiend, I guess, but like, are we really? Alright, that's kind of badass, I'm not gonna lie. Fucking Sigma male Ryu walking in the door with the boom boom. Well, we're here. We're in your fucking door. I didn't even know how you got in here. OP gimmick. Would you? Why is Blind Swallow just not working now? I think that's a waste. Nope. Okay, this is very doable. Probably with one heal. And if we use Nimpo correctly, we can crowd control all those fiends. Let's just sick door for nothing. I assume we get to fight whatever this thing is, so there's at least another fight after this. Trying to roll. Fucking Nimpo, dude. Jump! Oh my god, the thing! Oh, you fucking asshole! I should have had it that time. That was literally, like, fantastic. Although I know the gimmick. If you just hit him in midair, you do so much damage. It's insane. Because I assume both swords, the double swords, the Curse Blade and the other one, True Dragon Sword, are hitting him for, like, double hits or some shit, so it's doing, like, extra bullshit damage or something. Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm not starting the fight off with a fucking grab. This boss doesn't even deserve to be a boss. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Hit him! Fuck off. Fuck you. Fuck off! Told you it's trash. It's a trash fight. I'm starting to remember why probably both of these are fever dreams. I figured this would probably happen. Holy shit. Too much Devil May Cry 2, dude. This is that one guy from the fucking builder. Alright, well now we're here. Alright, we're going to be fighting. Is there anything else down below? Why did they let you swim down this far? Oh, they don't. Alright, well this has got to be at least some one kind of heal, right? Fucking XP? What am I gonna do with that? You gonna give me a store? It really is the building block. Holy shit! What am I doing? Okay, this might be. Well, actually, no. There's no way this is the boss fight. You've got to be kidding me, right? Like, he's got to fall down or something so I can do, like, big damage. I gotta shoot this thing. Yeah, sometimes? Wait, what's that? Okay, I get it. It's still stupid. Happening. Stop locking onto the thing that I can't even shoot anyways. This game sucks, dude. Okay, you're supposed to go up here apparently. And follow him. I mean, the one thing I can say for sure that has sucked across both games is the targeting system. Looking for extra goodies. Oh, these final levels are just trash. Devil May Cry did this way better. I won't say Devil May Cry 2 though. Devil May, this again. As much shit as I get this game, I will play it again, 100%. There's just the frustration of some of these enemies is bad. But the game's actually playable compared to Devil May Cry 2. Oh my god, that is such garbage, dude. Chill. Oh, shoot that thing. Lock onto the one thing that... Oh my god, that actually hit me. It's like it doesn't... When you want to attack his face, it doesn't attack his face. When you want to attack his stomach, it doesn't attack his stomach. Now I gotta climb up again. Okay, what's the new thing? This is just low-key. This is like the, I prefer the platform fight, if I'm being honest. I mean, they both suck. But at least the platform fight had you using your sword. Even if it was like a shit version of it. Okay, we're getting some items. There we go. I was like, how am I supposed to get those items? You literally had to cheese a little bit to get the items, which is... Again, everything about this game. Alright, climbing up again. Like, this is almost as pointless as the last boss. What are we at? Okay. Is this, am I climbing up the same fucking thing, man? Like, is this just the same environment and they loop you? Because that's what it feels like. I mean, it can't be true because there's chests that I've opened. Trying to get another cheap shot in, you motherfucker. Stop logging onto the bottom. You make no sense. I guess it just locks onto whatever you attacked last. I forgot to turn back on my thing again. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Join the Balrog. Say hi to Gandalf for me. Are you gonna do anything useful? At least Rachel had something useful in the first game. Don't tell me that's actually it. I mean, honestly, I kind of want it to be actually it. That's a great shot. That looks sick. What are you talking about? Bro, there's no way. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. You're telling me one drop of his blood revived it? Turn it into like fucking Diablo? What the sh... Back to the statue fights, essentially. You grabbed me, oh my god. I'm probably dead. Okay, we're good. You can walk around up here? Okay, that was bad idea. Oh, fucking grab. I'm dead. I'm dead, I think. Oh. I just barely lived. Okay, the thing we need to do is a jump attack. The jump attacks are just so broken. I rolled that one. I swear I rolled that one. Alright, we still got the revive though. Alright, we get big damage from that. We still have the revive. Fucking flying swallow doesn't do shit. Okay. Stop grabbing me, you ass! That's fine. I wanted that to trigger us. And you're... Can you hit him? Oh, it's like execution. Or not? Wait, what's happening? Oh, okay. Jesus. Is that a bunch of fiend bodies? Or his chunks? He's fucking dead. Game over. No more games. Ninja Gaiden 3 doesn't exist. Just kidding. Yeah. Does Ryu have like a thing for blondes? Why is it always Rachel, Sonya? Who's the next one? Who's in Ninja Gaiden 3? Who's the blonde? So that's a cool shot. Too bad it was surrounded by some ass game.
Yamigaki. 光が溢れる夜明けだ。
A little more heroic than last time. Wasn't all about vengeance and more about kind of just saving the world from fiends. Sea of Swords. Oh, and he put Genshin sword. Okay, respect. I respect it. It's the only sword worth fucking leaving there. The only boss? No, that's not true. And he walks away like that, leaving the sword in the fucking ground. So instead of a story of vengeance, and revenge for wiping out his clan that are attacking this village. It's just a story of it's just a story of saving everybody from the fiends. Troubles brewing, fiends are around. Shit's fucked. Oh. Alright, so let's talk about this fucking thing. If I compare it to Ninja Gaiden 1, it's objectively just the worst game. The only thing that I think that they do better in this game than Sigma is some select boss fights. For example, Genshin's a great one. The lightning guy whose name I can't remember. Alexei. Alexei's good. Wolf is good. Genshin's good. I forgot what the fire guy's name is. It's some bullshit. Like with the, it's not. Does it start with a V? I don't know. The fire guy, he sucked. He was not fun. He was the Alma of this game, 100%. He was the Alma. He wasn't fun. He just sucked. He had the most annoying sounds. Dog shit boss both times. As much as I yapped about the Blood Lady, Elizabeth, she was definitely better. Like those four bosses, Genshin, Alexei, Elizabeth, Wolf, phenomenal. Love those fights. Genshin in particular, all four fights were incredible. I actually really liked all of those. The statues were whatever. But yeah, so all of those, I think if you take any of those boss fights, it's better than any boss fight in Ninja Gaiden 1. I think the only two that could possibly compare are Morai and the final one. And, well, okay, and the Doppelganger ones are odd. Ooh, wait. Zidonius, that was his name. Also, Terry Strong was in there? And Paul Eden. I mean, we are obviously not playing. That's crazy, because maybe they actually stepped up the voice staff. I just put it to Japanese because the first game's voice acting was such ass. There's no way. Oh wait, hold on. I'll shut up for a sec.
Yami wa itsuka messuru sadame. Ore ni wa mada nasu beki koto ga aru.
So they just tease Kazumi the whole time? They never even really show her? You're just supposed to be like, oh man, that's that one chick from Dead or Alive. Except they never put her... I would be pissed if I was like a huge Koei Tecmo fan or whatever. And they tease Kazumi at the end of Ayane's stage, which is chapter 11. And then they just tease her again in the credits? Like, are you serious? Ugh. All missions have been unlocked in tag. There's ninja courses. We beat Mentor. Use the Blade of the Archfiend. We have a new costume. A couple new costumes. Is there a way I can just look at the costumes? See what we unlocked? Here, what if I do tag missions? Here, practice. Karma attack, sure. Can I pick my character? Aha, here we go. Yeah, so what do we unlock? Okay, it looks like we probably got, yeah, this. Which is kind of, that's like the, this is what you get, basically, except it's red in the first game. Rachel gets... oh wait, did you... I don't know which one we unlocked. I feel like it wasn't the hairs. There's no way it was the hairs. That would be silly. So I'm assuming, because we had this one before, I'm assuming it's this. We're beating the game on hard, which is hilarious. Oh, and then we get the Ninja Gaiden 1 Ayane. Okay, that's pretty cool. Oh, this is, and we also got this, I think? That's a cool outfit. Other than this version. And then what did Memoji get? Oh, that looks cool. Memoji's got some interesting outfits at least. Like a purple version. Wait, I don't even think... This is her normal outfit, right? Yeah. I don't know what the difference between... I guess maybe just like an older version, because I know there's like a PS Vita version of Memoji that you could play in Sigma 1, or Sigma Plus or something. Maybe that's what this is. And then there's like a purple version. And then there's this. Oh. But yeah, where is... Here, is there a sound test? Can we put like music on? How many are there? Holy, okay, 60? But yeah, okay, so we'll no, that's... No, we'll leave it on this. Alright, so anyways, back to discussing what these two games so far. So, when I finished the first game, the big thing about that was the boss fights we knew were gonna be bad. Or we concluded the boss fights were largely bad, other than the doppelganger fights and the two I had said earlier, the Mariah fight and the final boss fight. Even though I kind of rinsed the final boss fight, I could see there being a world where if I didn't have that many items and I was a little bit more tight with the resources, that being a lot more fun, but it was pretty easy to abuse. This game had the better boss fights. However, the normal encounters are very hit or miss. Not because of the encounters themselves are bad, but because of two things. It's the grabbing with the insane damage. And while the dismemberment system is very cool, in actual practice, it really fucking sucks. Now maybe when I play Ninja Gaiden 2, I'll have a different opinion, because I hear they jacked up like the health bars or whatever. Because the way, and the reason why this is a problem is because it really feels like you lock yourself out of certain weapons. Example being the Lunar, right? Like, the Lunar in the first game was a great crowd control tool. Granted, the Kurosagama replaced that for me, and it was almost as good. However, because the enemies have stupid amounts of health, and a lot of the times their grabs have armor, it largely doesn't fucking matter. Because if you are using your attack and you're doing stuff that would normally cover behind you, and then they decide to grab you for whatever reason, be it a dog, those fucking dogs, or just a normal enemy, they're gonna just tank your attack anyways, and then you eat 40% of your health bar. And it feels like shit. When you fuck up in Ninja Gaiden 1, even if it's a grab, it's like, I don't know, at worst like a quarter from like a boss usually. But when you fuck up there, you might get comboed or something, but it's something that feels like you could have got out of the way. Other than, yes, you still get grabbed. I do remember yelling about grabs because they're unreactable in the first game. They're at least somewhat reactable in this game. Except it's even worse because you largely can't do anything unless you've like built your combos to be as safe as possible. And even then, sometimes, like, for example, I can Azuna drop somebody, and because of the bounce after, like, the slam, you can still get grabbed out of it, even if you're, like, ready to block or ready to try to move or anything. So largely, they made this cool system that's, like, very Metal Gear Rising-esque, and allows, like, enemies to move around and stuff like that. It just fails in practice, because when you actually want to play what was Ninja Gaiden before, it all starts to fall apart. Because now you had to rely on these weapons. Like, if you want to get through the encounter in a way that makes sense with the least amount of bullshit, you have to do the quickest moves. And a lot of times, that's actually not UTs. Which is the saddest part. Because UTs are the coolest ultimate techniques, by the way. Those are the coolest moves in the game. And it really sucks to lose the risk reward, and then on top of that, have it, you could do UT and it doesn't even dismember them at all. So then they still have a shit ton of health, you still have to beat their ass or at least dismember them until you can unlock the thing. And then even then, the consistency of if your obliteration move actually confirms correctly is another problem. Because there's so much issues on, like, are you at stick neutral? Are you, like, just out of range of it even though you hit the enemy with your heavy attack? It's just so annoying. There's some kind of inconsistency on landing when you press triangle that auto charges the UT sometimes. And I don't understand how that works and why it happens. The enemies traded a lot of dodging and aggression for dumb bullshit. Like the aggression that would be like hassling you with shurikens and coming in and running around. Like the Wolverine ninjas, those guys were the closest in this game specifically. Those guys, and I guess the warlocks, I think they're called, the guys with the sais who shoot magic at you, that I would always yell about, saying like they're firing on, like cheating with their fireballs or whatever. Those guys were also okay, except for those fireballs. Because the way it worked in the old game is even if they did that, you would have time to react. That was the good thing. Now they're like, we can shoot 3 fireballs back to back and it might hit you for a total of 60% if you get hit by all of them. It does an ungodly amount of damage. You barely have time to react to them in most cases. A lot of times your recovery is just total shit. Even if you don't pick like a huge move. Like a lot of my bread and butter combos with the Dragon Sword are XX XX into YYYY, or YY at the very least, so XXYY. But sometimes you get the extra 5th Y and then you get like the backflip thing. That's not what I'm talking about. Those ones, when that happens, I'm like, okay, it sucks that I'm getting punished for this, but it's a incredibly like unsafe move. Like the recovery is clearly insane. But there's times where you do like XX, right? And you just do sword, which should be safe. XX should be relatively safe. And like if you don't want to make 3 safe, that's fine. But 2 light attacks should be safe. Except a lot of times it feels like it's not. And that's what also sucks. So it's just like, and you stack all of that together, where you have the janky dismemberment system with the obliteration techniques combined with the large health and like insane grab damage, and it took away the tactical fun of the first game. It became, I guess, Dark Souls in a sense, where I no longer care about the encounters in between, and now I just care about the boss fights. Now, the boss fights are better, however, they fucking drive you crazy by just doing boss fight after boss fight after boss fight after boss fight, and every level is basically a boss rush for no reason, and not in a good way. Ninja Gaiden 1 had that perfect, and like, they had it perfect because it was like very Devil May Cry. You end the area with one big boss fight. And you're like, that was a satisfying conclusion to the chapter. What a great time! Like, they even they had it earlier in the level. Like when they added the end of the chapter 6 with the water dragon fight after there was like nothing else. That was fine. That was a good time. Like, actually, hold on. Where's the chapter challenge? Can we get a look at? Yeah. Okay, so let's go through this one by one. The first level, good time, introduces you to the Riketsu and the Spider Clan demon mini bosses that I guess they throw at you later, which we'll get into that when we get into that. But anyways, this is a good level. I think this was fun. It was a nice introduction to the game. I thought if you didn't want to deal with the abuse of the first game, I think this was like a great introduction to a new game. And I'm trying to think, would I say the story is better? No. I think in practice and in concept it seems like it is, but it's not. I like conceptually the idea of taking out the 4 fiends and greater fiends and stopping the fiends from being resurrected is a fun concept. But the way they told that sucked. They could have kept everything the same, like the characters and all that the same. I'm not except for the fire. I mean, I just hate the fire guy. It's not the character design itself is actually fine, but I just personally don't like it. They needed to tell that in a way that made more sense. To like move between Russian, they did their best, I guess, but whatever. Personally, I think this tale of vengeance and having the way that I won't try to spoil as much as I can, even though I probably have in the middle of this game. But no, fuck it. Yeah, having Mirai come back as the final boss, that was fantastic. It made more sense, especially since the Vigor Empire stuff was just kind of like chaotic and not really told, unless I missed some notes in that. And how that Emperor turned into that demon or whatever. Like, they needed the dog or die scene from this for the Emperor in the old game. And I guess that's probably how this happened. Is they're like, hey, listen, nobody knew what the fuck happened in the first game, so we need to clear that up. So that's where that if they kind of merged that ending sequence with the first game's ending sequence, the first game would probably be perfect in terms of a story experience. This one, not so much. So anyways, this level is still great. Honestly, this level also great. You get to go back to the... Oh no, this is not the... Are you at Hayabusa Village? Yeah, no, you are in Hayabusa Village here. Yeah, this is great. You get to fight Genshin for the first time. You see Joe. We never know what happened to him, by the way, I just realized. Ayana just said he was safe and he's getting better, but he's still not doing super great. But yeah, there's Joe. Then... What's this level? Oh, this was the fucking dogs. And then this was also the first dumb shit boss fight, where you fought that metal worm that you can only shoot in the face with arrows for whatever reason. That was stupid. This level was not good. So this was like the start. I will say, again, aesthetically, all these levels look sick as fuck. I think in terms of environment and level building, I don't want. I guess we'll say level design. Sure, in terms of level design and environment, looks fantastic. Oh yeah, then you go to. I totally forgot about going to fucking New York. All right, you fight Alexei here. You kind of go through like the museum of like the Statue of Liberty. Alexei was fine. I honestly don't remember too much about this area. I don't. Is this part of the sewers? Probably not. The Alexei fight was cool. The Statue of Liberty boss fight was whatever. Also, the statue fight here was whatever. You didn't need to have those, to be honest. They're just... I mean, I guess they... Yeah. Nah, it was fine. It's just... Whatever. It felt like it shouldn't have happened because the way they played the story out, the Statue of Liberty didn't activate, but then it did. Momiji's level. This was good. Again, oh, and then this is the other problem. The way that they design, okay, actually I take it back. The level design is shit because they keep locking off areas that should be still accessible to go back to like stores or save points or stuff like that. If they want to lock off a save point, I feel more okay with that, but they should never lock off a store after you pass one like that. That is so fucked up. Because if you because they do that on top of their shit new save system. If they had kept the old save system, I'd be fine with that, but they didn't. They fuck you over, and you can't. If you want to do something over again, you have to start the whole ass level again, or start the whole game over. There's no save management to try to like reassess the situation, be like, actually this is a bad idea. Maybe I should have upgraded this other weapon. Maybe I should have done this. Blah 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 blah. Aqua Capital, it was a good lore. Actually, this was fine. I had no issues with this. The water dragon fight was kind of bullshit for how long it took, but it's run very hard. I'll accept the consequences. Lycanthrope's Castle might be one of the best chapters in the game. Gladiator Arena was sick as fuck. No notes, honestly. That was just a good time. City of the Fallen Goddess. What the fuck happened here? I'm guessing this was Rachel's level. This was fine. Rachel was fine. It was actually good to play Rachel again. I think she was better than she was in the first game. I don't remember if she kept her dodge. I wish she kept it. If she didn't keep it, or yeah, if she didn't keep it, I wish she had her normal side dodge. But I just can't remember. The boss fight was fine. I thought everything was actually fine about this level, other than them forcing you to shoot stuff outside. I don't know if that is like shooting a mechanic in this game. I guess so. I guess they were trying to make it one, right? Flying Fortress Daedalus. This was fun. You get to fight Genshin. This was an interesting level. There was a lot of new robot enemies that were weird, but I liked them. Like the big robot mecha bird things. Those were kind of sick, actually. Yeah, this was a good level. Submit or die. This was the beginning of the end. This really was, actually. I thought I was almost gonna meme on that answer, but no, this was actually the beginning of the end. We had to fight that one fucking guy, the fucking fire dude. I can't remember. There was the bullshit mines, where if you don't walk in the footsteps spots exactly, you just start blowing up. That was stupid. Mostly because they kept hiding items over in those areas, and if you like touch your toe in there, you blow up a mine. That's some dumb shit. This level also sucked, but not because of the enemy setup. It's because actually Ayane just sucks. And it's not because Ayane the character sucks. It's because of the dismemberment system, and her weapons are so annoying to dismember stuff with. There's either some intricately complex combo in the sense of you need to do like an XX forward X Y combo or something like that, or you do Flying Swallow, which is incredibly boring to do over and over again, in my opinion. I don't want to be Flying Swallow at enemies all the time. I like to use it as like an Oki setup, or they're very far away and I need to close the gap. Or I guess in this case, if there's a fucking bunch of dogs and I don't want to deal with them, I'm trying to use it there. But she's just not built for this game. She was never built for this game and the dismemberment system and whatever. Well, no. I was gonna say whatever changes they did in Sigma, but she doesn't exist in the original game. None of the female characters do. So they created a character for this game that doesn't work. Rachel works. Emoji works. Those are fine. Ayane does not work. unless again, there's one of her longer combos allows you to do that, but it's so much effort to get to there relative to all the other characters. She's just shit by comparison. Alright, Heart of Darkness, the swamp level. This was actually fine, I think. I don't even remember what the boss was. Was this the... do you end Heart of Darkness with the, like, flying boss? Because that, I mean, that was fine. It's not particularly a great boss. But it was there. Temple of Sacrifice. Alright, this level I gave a lot of shit when I was playing it, but it was actually a lot of fun. I was just unjustifiably mad because of, I guess, something in that level. I don't even know why. Maybe I just wanted to get through stuff. But this was actually a good level. I think that aesthetically one of the coolest levels in the game. I think the run up to the thing is pretty cool. Fighting the Blood Lady, even though, again, I gave that shit. I was just being a baby. It was actually fine. It was a fine boss fight. Tempered Gravestone. What was this one? This is where it really starts to go. No, is it? No. Because this is where this is where the boss rush starts. This is where I guess you start heading through the graveyard, and then you fight the two flying guys a bunch, and you're going back through Hayabusa Village. This was okay. Yeah, this was fine. It wasn't like super memorable. It was just nice to go back to Hayabusa Village and do some stuff. No, you fight Genshin. No, this was the last great chapter, actually. Yeah, because then you did the Blood Lady, then you did this, and you ended with a fight with Genshin on a volcano, and it was sick as fuck. Okay, yeah, this was a good one. This was the dog shit level. This was, you fight like a demon guy who should be dead. He's been killed 3 times. 2 times at that point. But you fight him, you fight all that bullshit, just that one store, which again, because of the level design, it sucks ass. You then have to fight that fucking fire guy. Again. Then you fight Wolf. Wolf, again, he was great. It's great to fight Wolf. He's a fun time. Alright, then this level looks sick, but was absolute ass. Because this was... oh my god, I can't believe they do this to you. So then this was essentially the tower, I would say. It was a tower in a different, shittier way. Because largely even on very hard, the encounters weren't particularly challenging until you get to the boss rush where you fight Alexi. Wait, do you really only fight Alexi here? You end this with Wolf? Well, let me just see. Sure, we'll just go and act like. I just need to see where it starts. Yeah. Oh yeah, you go through all the... yeah, no, this is the tower level, basically. Aesthetically, again, very cool. But... ends with Alexi. Wow. So it was really just that, huh? It was just the towers. Essentially, because you go through those doorways that I was just looking at, if I remember correctly. Then you start heading down those like bubble things or whatever, and eventually you get to Alexi. So this was actually a pretty short chapter. I guess I didn't have any problems with this one. This one I did do. For the last level, to have a boss rush this fucked up is kind of insane. Because they make you fight Genshin a 4th time, which actually I quite enjoyed. Like I said, I always enjoy the Genshin fight. Then you fight Elizabeth again, which I would have thought, honestly, if they could have ended it there, I know they couldn't have, but they could have ended it there. I think that would have been nicer. I think if they just scrapped Dagger Die and the Vazda or whatever, if that's even what the last boss was, I honestly think it would be a better game. Like, Vazda doesn't have that big of a deal, and neither does Dagger Die until the very end of the game. And then, if you've been reading the context, the game starts with Elizabeth. So, if they had just ended that with like a partnership between, like, if they had done here, I would have preferred this. You fight Genshin, you fight Elizabeth, and then you fight them both. I would have been fine with that. That would have been a much more satisfying ending. Instead, you leave, you go fight another room of enemies, which teleport you to the door where you fight Dagger Die, who is basically pointless. You then fight a gimmick fight where you just shoot a boss with arrows in the face and the stomach for like 5 minutes until you climb up the pathway. And then you fight an actual quote-unquote proper final boss. But it was just like the statue fights, and it was kind of lame. At least when they gave you the lame boss fight in the first game, it followed up with Mirai. Like, had we done that, had Genshin not showed up, and they needed to have that other stuff, you fight the lady one more time, you then fight Dagger Die, the Fiend gets summoned, and then you fight Genshin or something. After he's like absorbed, maybe he kills the Fiend from you or something, and then his sword is like stronger or some shit. I guess they didn't want to mirror. Nah, they would have mirrored the first game. That's probably why they didn't do it. Either way, that fight was dog shit, and there was no redeeming factor after it. And then they followed it up with that bullshit Kazumi tease that paid off for nothing. So that was trash. And all of this so all the levels that I say are shit usually get compounded with, it's because I couldn't go back and buy items, I was locked away from doing the thing, and they don't let you account for it or refix it because every save overwrites your last save. So, now that we've gone through every single chapter and explained which ones were good, which ones were bad, this is where I say... Actually, yeah, hold on. 1, 2... And we'll give it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's unmemorable. 9, 10. Fuck you. 11 and a half. There's 11 and a half good chapters, I guess. But because of the save system, I haven't even got over this. So yeah, because of the save system though, part of that sucks. But then here's the other crippling detriment to the game, is the upgrade system. So on top of the issues that we already have with the combat system that I just brought up, everything about the combat that made Ninja Gaiden in the first game is completely gone. So when you used all UTs in the first game, you do that not only to get a super cool move that was charged up and flashy and would be like a huge reward for you, which, by the way, again, you don't get that reward in this game because that reward is completely shot in the foot by the increased damage and health values. Not only is that fucked, but you also do not maximize your yellow essence, and on top of not maximizing the yellow essence, there's nothing to ever fucking buy. Because they this goes back to the weapons, you can only upgrade the weapons once per blacksmith shop. And then on top of that, you have to wait until a certain point before you can fully upgrade it. Which I guess did exist in the first game at certain points, but once it was there, you could just buy it. You didn't have to be like, oh, I upgrade everything to level 2 or whatever. I got to chapter fucking 12 and whatever the fuck. It was just, yeah, just keep, you buy what you want, you don't buy what you don't want. And yeah, sure, I grinded out some like essence for myself offline because I wanted to just have items, and you could do that. And that's, to me, that seems like a perfectly fine option. You should be able to enter that last boss fight with all of your weapons maxed out if you want. Like if you wanted to trade it out for health items instead, and you wanted to just upgrade all your stuff, that should have been an option. But they took away that agency, and so then now when you're waiting to get like more interesting moves or whatever, you're just stuck behind them. And even when you do get the interesting moves, you're like barely gonna use most of them anyways, because at that point you probably have already figured out a strategy that dismembers something fast, and then you go for the obliteration technique. So all of that agency of like trying to use moves to gather people into like a spot or like knock them back or do like something like that is basically gone. And because all the UTs are basically the fucking same, it's always like locks into an enemy and focuses them. There's no, like the lunar, you turn into basically a tornado. There's like a use case to be like, okay, there's a bunch of enemies, like there's a bunch of bugs in this room. You use the lunar UT so I can just clean up the room. That kind of exists in this game, but it really doesn't, because you can't just like opt into like a AoE move if you want. Like, yeah, you can do the Kurosagama, which does do AoE, and that's the closest you get, but it's still locked onto an enemy in the worst way. I mean, it's locked onto an enemy in the other one, but it's not focused on them. Like, there's definitely times where even the Kurosagama is missing stuff. When you're spinning around with the lunar, you're hitting everything no matter what. And so they removed the uniqueness of those UTs. There's not even a reason really to go for them as often as the other moves, because also the recovery time is worse compared to like a different move you might use. So you might even UT and then just get owned for it, because then usually, especially if you use it in a boss fight, or even, this is the other thing too, the obliteration moves fuck with the boss camera even more than the other game. And the boss camera is even more shit. It picks a midpoint or something to try to focus on. So sometimes neither of you are on the screen. And then when you do an obliteration move, so like when I was fighting that fire guy and I did an obliteration move, it does camera cut to your obliteration move, but then it has to cut back to boss camera. So any time you're trying to reaccount, like, oh, I'm doing an obliteration move, there's an enemy on my left, so I'm gonna hold left stick and press Y to do my next obliteration move. Except then the camera pans 180 around and suddenly you're supposed to press right. And you're like, what the fuck? They did build the arenas for the bosses better so it doesn't get stuck behind stuff as often, but it's still shit. Yeah, so they just take away so much weapon agency. They basically neuter your UTs because they're so much more useless in this game. The enemies don't do anything. They're largely a waste of time because of like their health values, and then they usually just sit in the background doing nothing until you decide to like engage, or like I guess later in the game they felt a little bit more active, but for the most part it was like they just sit off screen until your move is done, and then they usually sneak in with a grab or like one attack at the last second, and it was just like half the time you can't like roll out of the way anyways. The controls, I don't know if I want to harp on the controls too much because I do have messy inputs. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. I had messy inputs in the first game. I probably had messy inputs in this game. It does feel a little bit more inconsistent, especially because of like the things with like the landing UT charges that I didn't understand. So it didn't feel as good. But in the heat of the moment in battles, I tend to fuck up my inputs in general. This is just true when it happens. It happens in fighting games. It happened in the first game. It even happens in Devil May Cry. So I'm not gonna harp on the controls too much. I don't think I could science it out enough though to understand it as much as I could in Sigma. Sigma, it felt smoother, which is surprising. Like Sigma 1. But I will say, I do think, except for Ayane, the side chapters for the other characters were better in this game. Rachel did not feel as fleshed out of a character in the first game as she did in this game. So maybe they put a lot of time into making those characters feel, at least Rachel feeling better. I'm not going to say that about Ayane, obviously. Momichi was good. She was fine. Maybe because she also existed in Sigma Plus, so they had stuff to work with. Ayane was just like a beta version or something. Ugh. But yeah, you're just so disincentivized to use other weapons unless they can dismember people. That's really what it comes down to. So, unlike the first game where there's definitely more reasons to switch to other weapons for a variety of reasons, like there's a good reason to switch to the big sword, or the lunar, or the flail, or the dragon swords. Like I think I almost used every single weapon in the last game at some point for a specific thing. Except for the dragon fang and whatever, just because I didn't like the double swords. And it wasn't originally in the first game anyways, so it's not like I wasn't really missing anything. Oh, I guess the warhammer, but that's because the sword was better. So yeah, you just have like preferences. Much like, and that's another thing, they had some of my favorite weapons in this game, like the Kurosagama and the scythe. Why does the scythe not fucking cut anything? It feels like it's impossible to dismember something with the scythe, which seems ludicrous. I feel like if there's a blade on it, it should have a high chance of dismembering things all the time. But it seems that that's not even like the correct logic, because otherwise then Ayane's blades would be fantastic, but they're not. Oh my gosh. So yeah, we'll see if I can get a hold of the original 2. I think I would like that version better. It sounds like, from what I've seen, there's higher enemy counts. There's less bullshit. They're more aggressive. It just sounds like it's a better game. The only thing that seems like it was the problem was frame rate, which I'm sure the Series X is gonna fix. So, I am not worried about that. On the other hand, I wonder if like these were not made at the same time Devil May Cry 2 and this game. In fact, Devil May Cry 3 came out before this game. Actually, I think Devil May Cry 4 came out before this game. But it felt like whatever story inspired Devil May Cry 2 inspired this. Because they were very, very similar in very many ways. Well, collect all these artifacts, summon this big demon thing. There's a big-headed laser beam thing. There's all these fiends and demons and stuff. All clusterfuck of a fever dream of the story. This one was just executed slightly better than, from a story perspective, than Devil May Cry 2. From a gameplay perspective, all my complaints aside, still way better than Devil May Cry 2. Like I said before in one of the other parts or sections, this is playable. This is a playable game. You can play this. If you don't play this on very hard, I'm sure it's a much better experience. Well, with the instant kills situation, it is a horrible experience. But I bet if you play it on hard, it's a little bit more fun. I still think the way that they treat the combat and the upgrades is a detriment to the game. I also think removing the map, I think removing all of the elements that made it like very adventure-y and puzzle orientated and like made you like put thought into the encounters of like how you're going to approach it, what weapons, what upgrades, blah 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 blah. Do you want to backtrack to go to another area that you were before because there might be more enemies or a fun encounter? All of that missing and forcing it into like the linear railroaded experience of like a traditional hack and slash ruined that aspect of the game. Which is funny, because that would be like if I were to say Devil May Cry 1 is better than 5, which I would never say. Because you can backtrack in 1 to some extent, but not 5. But at least the things that Devil May Cry kept consistent is having things like the challenge, secret missions and stuff like that. Like, the ambushes in the first game were a nice thing to grind, because it made it worth it. You would get an upgrade. Not only would you get an upgrade, but you would also get money to buy upgrades. Like, you'd get a health upgrade, that's what I'm saying, from the ambush or something. Or like a Nimpo. But then you'd also get money to upgrade your weapons after. So it was like a double win. You'd be like, okay, I made it through like this impossibly hard thing. This crazy challenge of 80 insane enemies, and then I got rewarded for it, so I can like finally upgrade my weapons to do this thing, or I can like buy some health items to help me get through this next part because it's gonna be tough. There's none of that. Like, all agency has, like, quite literally, almost all of the agency that was in the original game has been removed. And it has been reduced down to dismember things as fast as possible, hit your obliteration move, and move the fuck on. But then and then that reminds me of one thing I was gonna say about, I think it was chapter 14, basically. When they put the spider guys back in. Normally I'm fine with bosses from earlier coming back into the game later as like a normal enemy. The issue in this game specifically with that, if they did it in Ninja Gaiden 1, totally fine. But doing it here was fucked up because you can't dismember the Spider Clan mini-boss. So it creates this awkward dynamic where, oh, every enemy that you fight outside of a boss fight can be dismembered, except for this enemy now. And oftentimes, they just throw them in there just cause. Like, there was that time when you fought 2 of them in Hayabusa Village. That was so dumb. And then they make you fight them even more. Like, I think if you bring them back, like, they did it with Momiji's bosses. They showed the health bar for Momiji's bosses when they showed back up again. But when the Black Spider Clan guys show up again as, like, the mutants, they got rid of their health bar. If you're going to not have them be dismembered, you need to bring the health bars back. Minor complaint, I know, but it breaks the consistency of the game, much like a lot of things in this game. Be it, I want to say the controls are consistent, but I can't back that up. I want to say it so bad because it would just alleviate so many of my actual problems that I had. Is like, oh, if I could just blame it on controls, but I honestly think that's on me. Yeah, it was chapter 13. Yeah, this level where they had that. And even in, was it this level? Nah, it was this one. This is where they brought two more back. So you fight 1 there, then you fight 2 here. Yeah, whatever. Oh my gosh. Things that are funny. I think it's funny that Sonya takes over the Rachel role of just being absolutely useless, except she actually has no redemption. Rachel was fucking useless in the first game. She didn't do anything. She was supposed to be a fiend hunter, but didn't do anything. But at least she saves Ryu out of the volcano at the end of the game. You know, there's a little moment there. I guess Sonya does save Ryu with a helicopter. Alright. Yeah, they're about the same. They're about the same, but they left her on a shittier note than Rachel. We'll say that much. What else? Let's talk about, I mean, we kind of glossed over them. I started with the boss fights. I do think it's cool that they added a scythe and a Kurosagama. I guess it is a little neat that they tried to incorporate ranged weapons into bosses, but it didn't often feel like it fit the mold of the combat, because the way that they want you to use it is the first person aim. But most things in the game that you're doing are much easier to do outside of first person, so while I appreciate the effort, the execution didn't fit the mold of the combat, which I guess you could say is the theme of this game. I feel like the execution of how they redesigned all the enemies does not fit what they meant to do with the combat in either the first game or maybe even the original second game. Like I said, the environments are fantastic. Those were great. The levels, all the levels, the aesthetics, the design of enemies, like how they look. Like the art team fucking crushed it. That is for sure. Art team, music, all that stuff, great. 100% great. It's everything that got fucked was in the combat and level design, which is unfortunately most of the game. You can only look at the art for so much. It's like a Miyazaki Dark Souls situation, but in a different, not okay, hold on, don't take that the wrong way. Everything looks gorgeous, as if it was like a Dark Souls level or something like that, and it's designed well in that sense. But where it lacks with cohesion, it lacks the cohesion that like a Souls game has. Souls combat isn't necessarily my favorite combat, but everything works exactly how you expect it to, and in the way that you would expect it to, and in a way that feels fair and makes sense. In this game, everything's just bullshit. And there's bullshit in the first game, but it's good, it's like tolerable. It makes sense, it feels fair. It feels like you need to master the game to get better at it. In this one, it doesn't matter how well you master the game, because once you get grabbed, you're fucked. You can try to tech it, but the game will say fuck you and ignore your tech and just kill you anyways. Or, heaven forbid, you accidentally press down on the D-pad and now every single button you press is fucking locked out. That is genuinely the worst. That actually is the other thing that really pisses me off, is you could instantly heal in the other game. And I think they thought it was cool to like, oh, we'll pause the game for you. Even though they quite literally have the ability to pause it whenever they want. You could, the second that menu comes up, the game should be paused, and you should be able to heal. Except that's not how it works. It waits for some weird moment, and it's not even consistent, because as we were seeing towards the end of the game, when the Spider Clan guys mutated and they would grab me, I could heal in the middle of that grab. But other grabs, you're not allowed to. So, they fucked up the health system. I thought that quick menu was going to be good, but it was actually a disaster. It actively harmed the game. So I guess the things that really saved this game is just, yeah, the art, the bosses, somewhat of the story, and just the variety of locations. But the first game had way better cohesion, a more like a much more succinct story, an upgrade system that actually made sense, and it was just a better game. Let's be real. So, if you like this game more than the first game, at least the Sigma versions, I feel sorry for you. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I'd love to. I'd love to hear your reasons why, because I'd be curious. I'd like to know from the people who prefer Sigma 2 over Sigma 1, specifically. Don't compare Black or anything else. Just the two Sigma titles. And if you like 2 more than 1, please let me know, because I'm struggling. I'm struggling to find reasons. It's just the Genshin fight. The Genshin fight is what carried the whole game for me. If I didn't have Genshin to look forward to be fighting, this would be much more of a slog. Alright, well, next will be Razor's Edge. We're gonna be hitting Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. We will be playing Razor's Edge 100%. I did look up the differences between 3 and Razor's Edge. There's never going to be a reason that it will ever play normal 3, so do not expect that. It's going to be Razor's Edge, and I'll probably record other stuff or release other stuff. I might record Black, but I'll release them later unless you get here and you're like, you know what? We've had a month and a half or whatever it's going to be of Ninja Gaiden games, plus however long 3 takes. We would like to see Black. I assume most people will be burnt out of Ninja Gaiden by then, so I want to mix it up with some other stuff I still have going on recording. But yeah, no, we'll be hitting all of those, but we will not be playing 3. It's just here's the itinerary. It's gonna be Razor's Edge, and then eventually I might play these after Razor's Edge immediately, but it will be Black 1, then Black 2, and then if I can get a hold of just normal 2 for a good price. I can't play full price for it right now. If I can get it for like $5, then maybe. But yeah, normal 2 after the Black series. But yeah, I guess that's enough of a ramble. That was Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. What an adventure! I did shit talk it for about maybe 40 minutes here. It was fun. I did have fun. It's just filled with a lot of frustration and things that I wished I had kept from the first game. So do not mistake my complaints for me not liking this game. I do like the game still. I will be playing it again because I'm a psychopath and I do want to play this on Master Ninja. But it is at the moment my least favorite Ninja Gaiden game I've played thus far. So with that, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like and subscribe if you did, and we will catch you in Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. See you there. Goodbye.